Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. We'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show in store for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So as you guys know, free agency is in full swing. And a lot of moves are being made by the second. I'm actually following Adrian Wojnarowski's Instagram account, and moves are being made. Tobias Harris, there's been some movement with him. If I look at him, let me see. Tobias Harris now has joined the Detroit Pistons. Who else? We look at who else we got? Isaiah Hartenstein. He just signed an 83-year deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that's a really good pickup for them. Gave him some depth at one of the 4 or 5 spots and a lot of activity. You have Jalen Smith just signed a 3-year deal with Chicago Bulls. Tyrese Maxey signed a 5-year deal, principal, worth $204 million maximum contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. And of course, you have Paul George, who signed a $212 million 4-year max contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. And I think they also got Kelly Oubre, which I think is really important, to stay with the Philadelphia 76ers. But I want to get into the Paul George thing, right? I want to get into that because really that lies at the heart of what we're discussing today. Back in 2020, when the Clippers got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in that offseason, many of us, including myself, believed that the Clippers were going to win the NBA championship. And we had good reason. We had just finished watching Kawhi Leonard help the Toronto Raptors win their first NBA championship in the history of the country of Canada. Fresh off a Finals MVP, he now goes to the Clippers, who were already a playoff team prior to that, and then he brings along Paul George. So at that point, everyone thought that the Clippers were going to win the championship. A lot of people. And they played well. They got to the playoffs. They beat the Dallas Mavericks, I believe, in 7 games or 6 games in round 1. Then they get to the second round, and they blow a 3-1 lead. And Paul George was horrendous in that series. Kawhi Leonard was playing very good basketball, but what happened was in Game 7, both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard had bad games, and that you cannot have. They were horrendous, and they ended up blowing a 3-1 lead. So I want to show you guys a graphic, and this is a Bleacher Report graphic, and it chronicles how the PG and Kawhi Leonard era went. Let's go through. The first image, in 2020, they blew a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets in round 2. In 2021, Kawhi tears ACL, and they lost to the Suns in the Western Conference Finals. In 2022, Kawhi Leonard torn ACL, PG elbow injury, and missed the playoffs. In 2023, Kawhi knee sprain, PG knee sprain, lost to Suns in first round. 2024, Kawhi knee inflammation, lost to the Mavs in round 1. And what that last slide doesn't show is that Paul George wasn't even healthy because he got injured about 3 weeks before the playoffs even started. Look, there are a lot of moves that are taking place in free agency and a lot of pretty interesting things to say. As it goes with the Clippers, here are my thoughts. First of all, at the end of this season, playoffs, I said that they need to blow up this team. And I 100% agree with the decision the Clippers made to not, basically to find a slick way to get Paul George to leave, because they know he wanted that fourth year, and they said no, which means that they didn't want to keep the score together, regardless of what they had to say. And I think that was the best decision. Why? Because I think I had seen enough from this group. I had seen enough. I had seen enough to know that this core players wasn't going to work. So I also think that the compilation of Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, James Harden, I think they had too many players that needed the ball. And I think as a result, everybody suffered. I think there was a lot of deferring to each other, and I just think that doesn't work because they just had too many players, right? So I didn't like that. Number two, I didn't like the fact that there was no clear pecking order in their offense. I didn't like that. Seemed like an equal opportunity offense, but the players weren't equal. So that's another problem. So I like the fact that Paul George is gone because it removes a variable. Now, some people are saying that's crazy. Why would you say that? Paul George is an all-star, great two-way player. I get that, but it's just not worked out for the Clippers. That's the first part. They did get James Harden, but on 2 years. And I think he's going to retire with the Clippers. I think after that, he's not going to play anymore. He's on a 2-year deal, $70 million. Fine. So you have that. Then I made a post about Russell Westbrook. First thing, the Clippers re-signed Russell Westbrook. I think he picked up his option for $4 million. But we're also hearing word that he's going to go to the Denver Nuggets. And Denver lost a very important piece in Contavious Caldwell-Pope. That's a very big piece, so they need to find a way to fill that void. But I said that I think the Clippers should move off of Russell Westbrook. And some people are like, oh, you're a hypocrite and blah, blah, blah. Of course, LeBron fans found a way to bring in LeBron James. They're these people, they can't. I don't get, like, why y'all be coming to my, like, yo, leave me alone. Like, goddamn, leave me alone. But anyway, they found a way to bring it back to LeBron. LeBron fans are so annoying. Anyway, the vast majority of them, not all of them, but the vast majority, 90% of LeBron fans are annoying. So what happened? They're like, oh, here's why I want the Clippers to be done with Russell Westbrook. Did Russell Westbrook play better with the Clippers than he did with the Lakers? Absolutely. Absolutely he did. But it's not a perfect fit. Russell Westbrook, I personally believe, doesn't fit as well with the Clippers as they would need him to. Why? Because you give up a lot with Russell Westbrook on the floor. Yes, I think Russell Westbrook's biggest plus to the Clippers when he's on the floor is his offensive rebounding. That's what I believe it is. Because he plays with a lot of energy and his activity around the basket. Apart from that, there were too many minuses in my personal view. One, Russell Westbrook was not a good floor spacer. Number two, he would be turnover prone. Now, he has an opportunity. He usually finds a way to get it. After he turns over the ball, he finds a way to get a steal. But there's a clumsiness to his game that I feel like doesn't fit in with the Clippers anymore. Now, some people have said, but he's the voice of the team. Fine. If you can find a way to retain Russell Westbrook without him playing, fantastic. But I don't think at this current point, he's the player that they need. Now, people have mentioned Kawhi Leonard. Why don't they move off from Kawhi? I think they will. They already gave Kawhi Leonard a 3-year deal, which he's on right now. And I don't think they're going to give him a max contract moving forward. I don't know why they would. But as things currently stand, I don't see this group being a group that's going to be able to compete for championships anymore. Now we have to wait and see, but I don't think so. Right? Here's what I think, or here's what I like. If I'm looking at the roster, obviously you have the other pieces. But in terms of the stars, I like Kawhi. I like Harden. I like those two guys. And I'm not a fan of Westbrook, and I hope to get rid of him. And then let them figure it out from there. Some people talk about James Harden disappears in the playoffs. He does from time to time, but he's also durable. He plays a lot of games. And you're going to roll the dice on Kawhi Leonard's health, but that's exactly what you were doing with Paul George anyway. Now, I know they picked up the guy from the Mavericks. I forgot his name. They picked up. I saw it on Woj's post. I can't find it, but they picked him up. I know that. Yeah, they picked him up, but I can't forget. He's a slasher, two-way guy. He can hit threes from the corner and all of that. Let me see if I can get his name, because I saw it not too long ago. I can't find his name, but I know they picked up somebody from the Mavs. I forgot the player's name. Or maybe I saw it a little bit yesterday. Yeah, saw it yesterday. But anyway, they picked him up. So to me, look, I think this era is over. I don't think the Clippers are going to win a championship unless something dramatic happens, which we'll have to wait and see. These are my thoughts. In terms of free agency, I think the team that got the team that's the best right now is the Philadelphia 76ers. You're replacing Tobias Harris with Paul George. Nothing more needs to be said. Enough said. These are my thoughts.